Many people try to challenge the instincts and behavior of animals and end up getting themselves into trouble. From the curious person who underestimated a porcupine's defensive power to the pastor who insisted on handling venomous snakes, each story reveals what happens when humans make impulsive and reckless decisions with animals that can often end in fatality. On February 8, 2012, a journalist and TV host from Denver, Colorado, United States, was bitten on the face by a dog on live television. Dyer was doing a report on the heroic rescue of a Dogo Argentino named Max, who had fallen into a frozen lake. During the interview with the dog's owner and a firefighter who rescued him, Dyer tried to pet the dog, but he reacted by biting her on the face. She was immediately taken to the hospital and needed surgery to repair the damage. The attack was widely discussed in the media and sparked debates about safety when interacting with animals on live shows and the importance of respecting animals' signs of discomfort. After her recovery, Dyer addressed the incident as a lesson on the need for caution when dealing with animals, especially in high-stress situations for them. A man identified as Marcelo Suarez Lima appears in a video playing with a coral snake, where he ends up being bitten by the animal and unfortunately passing away moments later. According to the police, the victim was intoxicated and was playing with the animal when the incident happened in the city of Caetité, in the southwest region of Brazil. The case happened during the early hours, and the next day, after investigations, the police discovered that the man had the habit of handling venomous snakes. The victim was taken to the emergency care unit but did not survive the power of the snake's venom, which is very potent and requires an antidote quickly. In the recording, it's clear that Marcelo was accompanied by another man who gave him instructions on how to catch the snake. However, the danger was certain and the worst happened. A young woman went viral on social media after posting a video where she appears next to her dog Derek. At the moment, she was singing a song to the animal, but he didn't seem to like the song very much, and the reaction was not the most pleasant. In the footage, she appears right next to her dog in a moment of affection, where she said she was singing to the animal, but the dog doesn't seem very comfortable with the situation and immediately threatens to attack. But in the first lunge, he misses. Even knowing the danger and the dog's dissatisfaction, she continues singing, and once again the animal attacks, this time biting her mouth and ripping off her braces. That's right, as she had her mouth open singing, the dog's powerful bite hit her dental braces and tore off the wire that held them to her teeth. Realizing what had happened, she's in shock for a few seconds and then exclaims, "Derek, my God, what now?"
Derek, meu Deus. E agora?
Her words, reaction, and the whole context of the video went viral on the internet, becoming a big meme. Known for downplaying the danger of venomous reptiles and saying that anti-venoms are for sissies, influencer Jeffrey Leibowitz had to be hospitalized after being bitten by a venomous snake at his home in South Carolina, United States. Jeffrey Leibowitz was admitted in serious condition after being bitten by an inland taipan snake. The influencer, who frequently handled venomous snakes without protection, was attacked in his home while handling the reptile without any safety equipment. Hours before the bite, he had posted a video on his Instagram profile, handling the same snake without any protection. In the footage, he even mentions that he had total control of the animal and that there was no need to be so afraid of the reptile. In another video, posted days earlier, Leibowitz mocked the dangers of keeping venomous snakes, stating that antivenoms were for sissies. After the inland taipan's bite, he had to be rushed for emergency care. His father told the police that his son received treatment, in this case the antivenom, and managed to recover. The police also discovered a collection of venomous snakes in the influencer's house. After the incident, authorities conducted a search and found 14 snakes, including extremely dangerous species like green mambas and rattlesnakes. The residence was in poor condition, with feces and decomposed meat scattered around. Unfortunately, the snakes were euthanized due to a lack of suitable places to house them. A video of a man after kicking a porcupine went viral on the internet, causing some anguish and discomfort due to the state his foot was left in after the incident. In the footage, we can see that the man's foot was covered with the animal's quills. Most likely, upon seeing the porcupine nearby and getting startled, he decided to kick it away, but forgot that the quills, which are actually its stiff hairs, are present on its body as a form of defense. Thus, the animal defended itself and released several quills that lodged and stuck in the man's foot. The pain must have been enormous, and in the video, he appears with his foot full of the animal's hairs while a friend removes them with the help of pliers. Some family members around advise going to the doctor so that the removal procedure could be done correctly and the area properly cleaned to avoid infections. A young man was bitten by one of the most venomous snakes in the United States after trying to dominate it while intoxicated. He even gets startled by the animal's attack, but doesn't let the beer can fall to the ground. Initially, the young man seemed to have the situation under control, holding the snake with one hand and playing with it. However, a few moments later, with a slight lapse in attention, he was attacked. The species, known as the Cottonmouth, is considered one of the most venomous in the United States, and only attacks when it feels threatened. The snake's main characteristic is its speed. Its bite is painful, and if it hits one of the main arteries, it can be fatal in a few minutes. In case of a bite, it is recommended to seek immediate medical help, suck the venom from the wound, and apply a tourniquet while awaiting assistance. According to reports, fortunately, the animal's bite did not hit the man's artery. He was rushed to the hospital, received the antidote, and managed to survive, remaining under observation for a few days before being released. Jamie Coots, pastor of a Pentecostal church in Kentucky, United States, died on February 15, 2014 after being bitten by a snake during a service. Coots was known for his unusual religious practices, which included handling venomous snakes as an act of faith, following a literal interpretation of biblical verses where it is mentioned that believers will pick up snakes and not be harmed. During the service, Coots was bitten by a rattlesnake. He refused any kind of medical treatment, stating that his faith was sufficient to protect him. After being taken home, he resisted the idea of seeking medical help and ended up dying due to the venom. The incident sparked discussions about extreme religious practices. After all, Jamie was not the only pastor to use these methods, as in other recordings we can see other religious leaders also handling these animals, with one of them being bitten and feeling the effects in front of the cameras. A completely clueless woman decided to enter the lion enclosure at the Bronx Zoo in New York, and upon seeing the feline, she begins to wave at the animal as if she weren't in any danger. It is not clear how she managed to enter the lion enclosure or why she decided to go in. One of the men who filmed the video, Hernan Reynoso, told local media that at first he thought the woman was part of some performance at the zoo, but soon after discovered that she was actually an intruder who simply risked her life. The Bronx Zoo confirmed the incident in a statement, stating that it was a serious violation, an illegal intrusion that could have resulted in something serious or even fatal. Fortunately, upon entering the area and waving at a feline that noticed her presence, it seems confused and stays distant, deciding not to attack the woman, who is ordered to leave and does so. A woman was caught on the security camera of a zoo in Toronto, Canada, at the moment she invaded a tiger's enclosure to retrieve her hat that had fallen off her head into the area. Fortunately, the tiger's enclosure had two divisions, and by jumping into the first one, the animal couldn't reach her. In the footage, we see her jumping and climbing back up after grabbing the hat, while the tiger, following its instinct, appears nervous and tries at all costs to attack her, but is prevented by the fence. The moment is quite tense. After all, even though she was out of the animal's reach, it was very agitated, leaving other visitors very scared by the situation that fortunately did not end in something fatal. Upon climbing out of the enclosure, the woman was confronted by other visitors, as she had gone against the zoo's rules. A small commotion ensued, and local authorities quickly arrived to intervene. A completely clueless man decided to invade the enclosure of a pair of lions in a zoo in China to provoke the animals, leaving everyone wondering what his real intention was. In the images, we can see him already inside the enclosure, approaching the felines who start to feel threatened. Quickly, the lion stands up and begins to approach the man, proceeding to attack. First, the animal swipes at him, hitting a jacket he was holding, then the animal bites him, injuring his arm. The man gets startled, but doesn't give up and remains there, taking more bites until authorities arrived, and unfortunately, the lion had to be put down. According to gathered information, the man had certain mental issues and intended to convert the felines using the word of God. That's right, you heard it. He did not die, but was quite injured. A man visiting a friend decided to provoke a dog that was tied to a chain, even after being warned not to do so, as the dog was not very friendly with visitors. Well, the dog, which apparently was a pit bull, seemed quite aggressive, and taking advantage of the fact that the animal was chained, the man began to provoke it just at the limit of where the chain would reach, so the animal couldn't get to him. However, what he didn't expect was that the dog's strength would be so great that the chain would break, and the animal would literally leap in his direction with much anger. The friend who had already warned him was filming everything, and saw his dog fiercely heading towards the visitor at the moment the video ends. According to reports, the dog's owner managed to restrain the animal, who even while being held back still managed to injure the friend, leaving him with several bite marks on his body, and he was taken to the hospital. He dug his own grave. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.